Hello, welcome to another nutrition video. In this one, I'd like to talk about 5 things that I've got here. They're each kind of their own point, but I'm going to go through them quickly, and you should get the general idea, and it should be quite helpful. So, first one here is if you're feeling stressed or angry or overwhelmed, or experiencing any negative emotion that you, as an individual, feel from time to time, you need to probably do one of 4 things. The first one is you probably need to eat a good meal. The second one is you might need to take a certain supplement. The third one is you might be toxic. You might have too many toxins of a certain variety in your body. And number 4 here is you might need to drink a liter of 2 or water with some good salt, a pinch of good salt. So Himalayan salt or Utah salt, Icelandic salt, up to you, but those are the 3 best. So what I'm talking about here is there are things that you can do to prevent and eliminate negative states. Because you're a biological being, you have biological needs. And when these needs aren't met, the body suffers. And when the body suffers, the Buddha taught us this one before he became the Buddha, was that let me start over real quick. The Buddha taught us that when the body is starved, the mind cannot flourish. So you need to feed your body. So that's number 1, eat a good meal. Healthy, nutritious, nutrient-dense, caloric-dense, healthy. Okay? Number 2, take a certain supplement. You as a human or as an individual need different or have different kind of deficiencies than other people. And this could be through the food you eat or just through how your body processes and makes chemicals. So here you want to know which supplement you need to take when, and that can be hard to do, but I'll take a few like magnesium. Magnesium's great at night. It's great any time of day, but it is a good night supplement. Vitamin D is good anytime. A good magnesium supplement will help correct up to thousands of biological processes. CoQ10 appears in every cell of the body and is a component of cellular energy, mitochondrial energy, and I've seen so many people do so well just adding CoQ10 to their supplement regimen. But it's up to you. Take a look, see what supplement you need. Number 3 here, you might be toxic. You might be toxic, and so you might be overwhelmed or stressed out. Easy ways to fix this: coconut charcoal. Breathe from the abdomen. Get your diaphragm into the mix, and breathe heavy. Breathe full breaths. Don't hyperventilate, but take good, solid, heavy, solid breaths. Number 4 on here is to drink more water with a good, pinch of good salt. Hydration, I mean, what's to say about hydration other than it's fucking essential as a carbon-based life form. So just do it. And electrolytes are really important too, because that's the balance that the human body has of water to electrolytes. That balance between them is actually really important. So do that. All right. The next bullet point I've got here is oxidized foods. Oxidized foods are damaged foods. When a fat molecule or a protein molecule gets oxidized or denatured, it is no longer as recognizable by the body. Now, sometimes they're so badly oxidized, they're not recognizable by the body. And these things are like trans fats. The body, they don't exist. And so I just don't understand, like, there's no place for them in the body. And we know that now. And so we stopped using trans fats in our fryers, in fast food restaurants. Now we use polyunsaturated fats. But there's a really good book about this. Oxidized polyunsaturated fats are very, very unhealthy. And they can create some unbelievably unhealthy byproducts, metabolites inside the body. So it's funny because these polyunsaturated fats are used in fryers, and polyunsaturated fats are the most readily damageable of the fats, saturated fat being the most stable. So it would do better under high heat and it wouldn't start smoking. It has a higher smoke point. Polyunsaturated fats do not, and they burn and they damage and they create all kinds of havoc. And I think the next thing we're going to see here, in the USDA or FDA, whichever, is yes, it's the USDA, is that polyunsaturated fats are not going to be used in fryers. I don't know. So what else? Food storage. If you've got a protein powder, and every day before you take a scoop out, you open it, let a bunch of oxygen in, and you shake it up. And then you open it, and then you take your scoop, and then you make your scoop. And then the next time you open it, you do the same thing. Open it, close it, shake it up. You're going to end up with a very oxidized form of your original product than from the person who, let's say, for example, takes all of it, takes half of it, puts that in a sealed container, either in the fridge or in the back of the pantry, and then uses the other half. And then when they finish that, they go to their sealed other half, and then they open that. That whole time in between there, that one has remained sealed and not exposed to oxygen. My point here is there's things you can do to prevent the oxidation of your foods. That being kind of the most obvious, but that I could think of. But be careful with your foods. Treat them like they go bad, because they do. Don't leave your butter out. Don't leave your dairy out on the counter for 3 hours while you're cooking. Just take it out, use what you need, and put it right back in the fridge. Anything that needs to be refrigerated. Light also oxidizes things, so keep your stuff out of the light. Olive oils, any liquid fat, any solid fat, keep it out of the sunlight. If you keep your olive oils on, like, next to the stove, one, right next to a heat source, that's a bad idea. And two, out in the open where it's exposed to sunlight all day, that's bad. Don't do that. That damages the fats. And you want to be eating healthy fats, not damaged fats, because you want to live long and prosper, right? So that's how you can do it. Next thing I've got here is protein shakes. I've actually got a really good blog post about protein shakes and protein powders and which ones to select. So I would check that out. Just kind of go to my website and Google or search protein powders. All right, so protein shakes. There's a lot you can do here. Hemp is a really great protein. Grass-fed whey is great. I personally don't like it, but it's great. Any kind of sprouted seed protein is going to be good. So sprouted chickpea protein, sprouted pumpkin protein, sprouted cranberry protein. There's a lot. But the kind of basics are sprouted brown rice protein, pea protein. Those are some of the best off the top of my head. But when you're doing a protein shake, none of them taste that good. None of them. And so while you're at it, throw in a scoop or two of one of those kind of green foods powders, where it kind of comes in a jar, container, and it's just powdered green, just super dense, right? And throw a scoop of that in there, and that doesn't taste good either. But how long does it take you to drink a protein shake? Just kind of chug it. And if you're going to chug it, I would recommend you take a little sip of apple cider vinegar with it to help digest the proteins. And that's another little tip. So while you're at it, throw in everything. Throw in some D-ribose. Throw in some MSM. It's really bitter, but just put in some extra stevia. Throw in a little creatine. Creatine's great for the brain. It's great for the whole body. It's great for your muscles, which everybody knows. God, the list. Any herb powder. Name an herb. Ashwagandha. Gotu kola. Ginseng. Name an herb. Throw it in your protein shake. And while you are drinking it, take some digestive enzymes. Protein shakes are their surface area is infinite. Those powders, you see it. It's a powder, very fine powder. So they're digested rapidly, and that's good. Can also spike your blood sugar, kind of, and sometimes it can overload your enzymatic load, your enzymatic capacity to digest. And so take some enzymes or betaine hydrochloride. That's betaine hydrochloride. I think that's how you say it. And that should help digest those proteins. And Protease, for example, is a good protein digesting enzyme. You don't need to be taking, let's say, carbohydrate digesting enzymes. Go for the protein ones. But most enzyme supplements come with, many enzymes in them. So anyway, next one here. Let's see. Okay. So there's this new product that's on the market, and it's these beef jerky bars. And sometimes they're bison jerky bars or like turkey jerky bars. But what they are is like beef jerky plus the fat. And I'm a huge fan of animal fats, grass-fed, pasture-raised animal fats. Otherwise, I'm not. And because the fats of factory-farmed animals are, in all likelihood, quite toxic. So, but the fats from grass-fed, pasture-raised cows or any animal are going to be very healthy. They're going to have a lot of omega-3s. In fact, they should have twice to 3 or 4 times the amount of omega-3s. They'll have more fat-soluble vitamins, A, E, K, and D. And just healthier meat in general. I mean, they're eating a natural, normal diet, and so they have a natural, normal body, and they're not being fed antibiotics and in their feed and all these terrible things that factory farm cows eat, and that benefits you, which you want. So these new beef jerky bars, right, are great, but I'm worried, and I can kind of taste it, and this is another point here. You can taste what an oxidized fat tastes like. And the example I use, and I don't know if it makes sense for everybody, but sunflower seeds that are already shelled, right? So you just get a package of sunflower seeds and you just pour it right into your hand and boom, you eat it, right? Not those ones that you have to like chew the seed out of. Those usually have a distinct smell as compared to the sunflower seeds that still have this shell around it. And that distinct smell is an oxidized fat. Like every oil, not every oil, well, okay, I'm not going to start making huge statements here, but a lot of the sunflower seeds that have already been shelled, those packages that I used to eat, that distinct smell is, I think, is an oxidized fat. It's the oxidized sunflower oil that they spray on them. And, oh man, I feel like I'm getting off track here, but these beef jerky bars that have fats in them, my worry is that they oxidize. You can taste what and smell what an oxidized fat smells like. Once you can recognize it, you'll recognize it. And my worry with these animal bars, these jerky bars, is that these fats are oxidized. There's really no way around it right now. You know, I'm sure in the future we're going to develop some cool things that'll help preserve all kinds of food molecules in a healthy way. But right now it's not super advanced. Let me just put it that way. And so my idea here has been to eat really good, high quality olive oil with these beef jerky bars. The idea being is the antioxidants like oleorupine in olive oil are going to help correct some of those imbalances that those potentially oxidized fats have or will create. So, and that's it. I mean, the antioxidants there, they're going to cancel out some of the oxidation. They are going to provide the olive oil is going to provide monounsaturated fats that are recognized by everyone on Earth as heart healthy. And those in themselves are anti-inflammatory, sort of by definition. And so that's good too. And that'll help with any of the inflammation that these oxidized fats from the beef jerky bars are creating. So that's it. I think that's all I've got. And that's the nutrition video. Stay tuned for the next one. I don't have what that one will be, but I'm looking forward to it already.